Hello and welcome to FARRELL Rugby on FARRELL Sports. For today's preview, Wales versus England. The Summer Nations series officially really kicks off this weekend. There was a match last weekend, but they literally termed it week 0. This is week 1, and all the sort of the Six Nations teams in action before a lot of teams venture over to Europe, and we really get quite an exciting Summer Nations fixtures about the next month, for the month of August. And after that, we kind of go straight into the World Cup. So these are the official sort of the warm-up fixtures. It has been coordinated by World Rugby as well, sort of the Six Nations board and stuff like that, or in creating sort of the Summer Nations series, and lots of very exciting matches. This match in particular, it will be in Cardiff. Wales will be hosting England, and Steve Borthwick naming an interesting side. Warren Gatland naming a very interesting combination at fly half and sort of halfback combination, which will be very interesting to see, as well as sort of interesting to see how Warren Gatland is going to really try and get this Welsh side from being basically nowhere a little under 3-4 months ago to being a competitive side come the World Cup. Now, before we look at the two teams, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We'll start with the Welsh side, who are at home, and they've got a new captain. Life after Alan Wynne-Jones, life after Justin Tipuric, two of those players who I think we all expected to be at the World Cup, retiring quite sort of a shock retirement in about May. And I think that was probably sort of the first couple of sort of major red flags about the situation within the Welsh camp. But anyway, all these sort of players are going to have to sort of really put all that the outside noise aside and try and sort of mount a bit of a World Cup campaign. And very interesting, we have got a double debut in the front row, both props on full international debut for Wales. Corey Domachowski and Kieran Azarati will get their first opportunity in a Welsh shirt next to Ryan Lyce, who is going to have to be a bit of experience in between them, which, he's not exactly a 100-cap campaigner. But he's going to have to really sort of pull together his sort of 30-odd caps and make sure that those two front rows go pretty well. In the second row, Daph Jenkins will partner Will Rowlands, who is about 2 games away, I think it is, from getting to the 25 cap sort of eligibility rule, where he can continue playing for Wales despite not playing in Wales. And I think he's a very important player. I was probably one of the standouts, not even just for Wales, but in the series last year against South Africa. Very impressed with him. And if they're going to do well in the World Cup, I think he'll be a very key cog in that pack. The young Christians gets another opportunity next to Jack Morgan, who will captain this side. Aaron Wainwright will start at 8th man. Halfback pairing of Gareth Davies and Sam Costello. Very exciting young fly half. And I tell you what, I think if he can really get going, I don't see why he couldn't actually really push for a starting place in that World Cup. I mean, he's 22 years old, very young, very inexperienced, but very exciting. And at the end of the day, I think this Welsh team are going to France with zero expectation. And so there must be a bit of a temptation to say, right, well, we can probably put together a couple of solid games and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're not really in a position to compete. Maybe you kind of roll the dice and you kind of look at players who are slightly different and bring a little bit of X factor, and maybe that can sort of create something a bit different to create a couple of surprise results. The wings will be Rio Dyer and Louis Rees-Zammit. In the centres, it will be Max Llewellyn and George North. Max Llewellyn getting his first cap for Wales. Very exciting inside centre, as well as Mason Grady on the bench, who's played just the 2 caps. So a lot of inexperience across the entire team, as sort of Warren Gatland does kind of decide on where he's at. George North partnering with will be a nice addition. He will bring his 113 international caps, and it's 113 Welsh national caps, then the British Irish Lions caps, and a big man for Lee Halfpenny, who will start and will get his 100th Welsh cap in that 15 jersey. He is sort of approaching the twilight of his career. He doesn't currently actually have a club, but very, very experienced, world-class player on his day, and it will be interesting to see whether he's still he's fit and whether he's firing and whether he will be wearing the number 15 come the World Cup. Off the bench, it will be Elliot D, Nicky Smith, and Henry Thomas, who's from Montpellier and is also on debut. Ben Carter next to Tane Plumtree, the son of Plumtree. He's also on debut. You think on Thomas Williams, Dan Bigger, and Mason Grady. So it's a pretty inexperienced side across I mean, I think you take out the 113 caps of George North, the 67 caps of Gareth Davies, and the 100 odd, 110 odd, and 100 odd of Halfpenny and Dan Bigger. And I think there's only 1 or 2 players who actually have more than 20 caps. Maybe 3 players who actually have more than 20 caps. So it's still a relatively inexperienced side across the board. If we look at the England side, this is what Steve Borthwick has named. Interesting. Also, quite an inexperienced and some maybe not even necessarily always experienced across the players, but in terms of combinations, in terms of players who are playing lately. It is quite an interesting side. Ellis James will captain the side. Jamie Blamier in the number 2. Will Stewart at tight head. Carl Sinclair will be coming off the bench. David Ribbons will be in the number 4 jersey, played number 5 in Six Nations. He makes way for George Martin, who will take up that number 5 jersey. Lewis Laidlam, Tom Pearson, Alex Dombrandt will be the loose trio. Danny Kerr will partner Marcus Smith. No Ben Smith this weekend, which is very, very interesting. And I'm interested to see if Marcus Smith is starting, and very good to see George North on the bench. Yeah, I think Danny Kerr, Jack from Portlead, no, not Ben, but Ben Youngs, not Ben Youngs on in the 23 is quite interesting in itself. But yeah, no, Owen Farrell is quite a big omission, and very interesting to see how Marcus Smith goes and what sort of the plan is. The 2 wings are Joe Koganasiga and Max Malin's very sure at fullback. In the centres, Guy Porter, Joe Marchand. A lot of people saying that they don't like seeing Owen Farrell at 12. I think he was brilliant at 10, for example, the Premiership. So a lot of options there for Borthwick. Off the bench, though, Theo, Dan, Bevan Rod, Carl Sinclair in the front row. Then you've got Johnny Hill, Tom Willis, Jack from Portley, George Ford, and Henry Slade. So quite a few big names missing, the likes of no Owen Farrell, no Mario Toje, for example, no Tuolagi. So it's an interesting side, and they need to start showing something, don't they? This England side and this Welsh side are two sides that are with new coaches within the last year, made different appointments, and are still getting to grips with how things go. So it's a big opportunity for them to start sort of developing that style of play and what they want to bring into the World Cup. Let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen. I'll chat to you soon.